hair down to my back, or I cut a bob and do it into single plaits. And if it's the summertime, maybe do a weave. Always change.
Hello, welcome to Two Martins Podcast. Another week today talking about entrepreneurship, becoming a successful entrepreneur in Ghana. After uni, I thought I'll turn out to be a billionaire by the age of mid-20s. I'll be a millionaire and have so much money through my account and all that. I'm not a millionaire. I'm still struggling with my company. So after uni, I set up a company. I registered a company. I felt like, ooh, some few years to come, be having chunks of money. Things work out. And I've been failing from one business to another business and all that. So today, I felt I have friends who are into entrepreneurship. They start it washes away. They start another one. It goes to the same trend. So today, I brought two of my favorite people who know much about entrepreneurship. We have to discuss this thing. I want to learn something. I want others to learn something too. So I brought Nanette. Nanette, what's up? Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
It's been a long time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's been a long time you came on this podcast. No, yeah, recently came on. Yeah, the fun part of 2019.
So
And Andrew is back. Andrew, what's up?
How do you, bro?
Yeah,
Okay.
welcome.
Thank you.
Today, I want you guys to teach me. I want to be rich. I want to enjoy money before I die. So let's talk about becoming a successful entrepreneur in Ghana. Should we start?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Nanette,
Yeah.
what is entrepreneurship?
Oh, well, entrepreneurship is simply the process of running a business venture. So you started off as a small business, then you nurture it and grow it into that big business you always envision. So yeah, that's entrepreneurship for you basically.
Okay, Andrew.
All right, so just like my sister said, I will say that it is adding an organizational aspect or administrative aspect to an idea you want to make profit with. I mean, the main end or the ultimate is at the long run, not just able to sell some goods and service, but you want to make profit. Like you say, we all want to be billionaires, exactly. So adding that organizational touch to an idea to make profit.
Excellent. So at a point before, when I was setting these questions, I was really relating with the questions we are going to discuss today. And after going through some challenges with my setup, I was thinking, is entrepreneurship an inborn thing or you learn it? So the next question, Andrew, is being entrepreneur an inborn talent or is a skill that we acquire?
Well, I think it's both ways. When I say inborn, I'm looking at the temperaments of people. You know, some temperaments find it easy going about some of these things. For instance, if you look at sanguines, I mean, when you look at marketing, most of my marketing, very good people that I know are very good in marketing are sanguines because they are extroverts, they are out there, they can talk, they can link up, and before you realize they are growing something already. So when I say it's inborn, means it has a major reflection on your temperament. Till now, we've not been able to exactly prove, yes, society may influence the way we behave, but our individual character most of the times is from within, is inborn. So that is yes. And then no, because there are people also who have taken the challenge upon themselves, they've learned and then they've groomed themselves and made themselves ready to be entrepreneurs. And in fact, I won't even conclude and say that the mere fact that you have it inborn or as an advantage because of your temperament doesn't necessarily mean you may end up a very successful entrepreneur. I mean, we can have so many examples. Even in football, sometimes we say that, I mean, Messi has the inborn talent.
Yes.
Cristiano Ronaldo learned. But, you know, at the long run, they are both achieving. I don't want to drag myself into any argument as to who is the better. But, I mean, yes. So it is in both ways, but largely dependent on what you add to it in order to get the results that you're looking for. Very important.
True. Annette.
So I think I agree with Andrew. Entrepreneurship, not even only entrepreneurship. When God created us, He gave everyone a talent. Maybe you might not see yours now, but maybe in future you know, okay, I'm kind of good at this, or I'm good at this, or I'm good at that. But talent is not enough. You know, without hard work, without perseverance, without dedication and passion, talent is not enough. Look at music, for instance. I know talented musicians that haven't blown or do not have a hit song out there. So you can tell this person is very talented. So how come person is not making hit songs.
True.
Like the Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi. It's obvious. Messi is naturally talented. He's a baller. But Ronaldo, with hard work, dedication, they are all successful.
Yeah.
Messi didn't say, okay, because I'm talented with football, I'm not going to work hard. He worked his ass off, like he worked hard.
True.
And they are all successful. So to be successful as an entrepreneur, whether you were born with it, whether you learned it, you just have to work hard. You have to get the right skills, the right attitude, and embrace everything that comes with entrepreneurship before you can be successful.
So the next question is, when should one set out to be an entrepreneur? Do you have a required time and age frame that you have to set out to be an entrepreneur?
With this question, entrepreneurship is not for everybody. That one, you can't do anything. It's not for everybody. Not everyone has the heart to embrace the failures that comes with entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is a whole risk.
And don't you think people can grow to build that stamina to endure failure and become...
Just the mere look at the risk will be better. The person wouldn't even try. It's a whole risk. People don't like leaving their comfort zone. Let's take you are a techie person, you're an IT person. You're like, okay, I have this product idea in mind. I want to actualize it into reality. But no, I'm not a business person, because being an entrepreneur, you have to have an idea about business, marketing, sales. You have to be your own financial officer. All these things. They were like, nah, I'm not cut out for this. The moment you have these thoughts in your head, and you don't want to embrace everything that comes with entrepreneurship, no, you're not set up to be.
So when should one set out to be an entrepreneur?
When you are ready to leave your comfort zone, when you are ready to embrace all the risks and everything, all the factors that comes with entrepreneurship, then you are ready to be an entrepreneur.
Andrew, your take.
All right. Before I go to the question, I think I beg to differ a bit in the sense that I believe that everybody can be an entrepreneur, depending on what you want to do. I think over here, especially in our West African part of Ghana, where we are now, we are very limited with the kind of ideas and innovation, not because we don't have the diversity, but because we may not have the environment to favor some of these ideas. For instance, let's just take Uber. Now, there are some places that in Ghana now, Uber cannot work, doesn't work. It cannot work because of, the kind of how remote the places, the road network already is bad. A place where a car goes there just once in a week, So it doesn't mean that idea may not be bad. It's not bad, but the environment is not allowing it. So I believe that everybody in one way or the other is delivering a kind of service, running a kind of service, or trading in a kind of goods. It may not necessarily be in terms of, let's say, directly related to money, but whatever that you put out there to benefit somebody, aiming to achieve results or profit, is entrepreneurship. There are people who are doing counseling and they have attached the entrepreneurship aspect to it, in the sense that they are managing it in such a way that you are not just receiving the the non-monetary value of what they are giving you, but in the long run, the person sitting there has eaten before coming to offer that counseling. You may have to pay something as a token. There is still profit that is being raked in. Through that, we can establish a whole lot of rehabilitation centers, for instance, where people go. They are funded by NGOs. It's still some form of entrepreneurship in the first place. So only on that side I beg to differ. But now coming on the on the side of when, I think when is number one, you have the idea. When you have the idea, it's not enough. You should have a team or a structure that you've investigated over a period of time. Then you are ready. Because we have people who are younger with ideas, having the right people around them who can give them the know-how. They started out and they're making it big. We've had older people also who had just the idea. It's not just because of age, but they've not been able to materialize anything and have not made profit. So if somebody has an idea, it's not just enough. Like my sister said, talent is not just enough. Being able to either get people who have what it takes to run what you have, or you yourself design it, I think you're ready. Capital is very important, but not just capital resource. Human resource, I think, is the most important commodity you should consider to call yourself ready. So if you have the idea, but you don't have the human resource ready and then the capital, I think you should wait till you are well equipped, at least in these two major areas, before all the other drivers will come in.
So these 2 points you raised, which one is the first hurdle we should overcome to start a setup?
I think the first you should overcome is human resource. The reason why I'm saying is that is because sometimes you may have the capital, but you don't have skillful people to manage it, you will still lose. Because there are a lot of people, I know people who were living outside the country, have spent years, accrued a lot of money. They just had the idea, well, let me just come back and do something. Everybody wants to go back to his country and then do something. Yeah. They come with all their cash, and in 1 year, they lose everything. Oh. You understand what I'm trying to say? Yes. So there was nothing wrong with the money, but the resource, the human resource to manage the capital was the issue. So I think the first thing you should really look at is human resource. Then capital can come in. Because a lot of people, business have actually started without physical cash. And at the long run, how many cars does Uber company have?
None.
They don't have any car.
Yeah.
But they are making billions out of people's cars. You understand?
Yeah.
Human resource first.
Nanette, first Edo, to welcome on to set up.
It differs. It depends on the business venture.
Okay.
To me.
Okay.
Because there are some businesses that start out, they have the finances. All right. But like Andrew said, there is no human resource. They don't have the right strategy. Someone with I have this money. What can I invest in? The person doesn't even have an idea, but the person wants to be an entrepreneur. And with another person, it could be that the person has the idea, the person has the right people, the right connect to make it happen, but the person is lacking finances. The person doesn't have the finances to pull through. So it depends on the kind of business venture. Yeah.
Okay. So what are some of the eminent red flags most young entrepreneurs ignore when setting off? The red flags.
One thing I noticed is money consciousness. Money is good. Like everyone, I love money.
I love money too.
Money is good, but when you are starting up a business, money is good. Like money will come, but you have to first. You are building a brand. You have to build your customer base. You know, it's all part of branding. Before you even think about money. In the first year, second year, you're going to struggle a bit. Most businesses that I know started off that way. You struggle. I started a fabric business last year, which you are aware of, and the first during fabric business is like a seasonal kind of business. When it gets to festive seasons, you make like ×3 sales on it. When you compare it to a normal day, you get like Christmas, you make a lot of sales during Christmas because people want to buy fabrics and gifts. It's out to people. Easter, you make a lot of sales. That's Muslims. How do you call their festive season? Eid Fitr. Forgive me. The Muslims, please forgive me. People buy fabrics, lots of fabrics, lace during those periods. But when it's like, let's take it February, March, then you're not making sales. You get agitated like, whoa, what's happening? Or when it's after Easter, you're like, okay, I'm not making sales. But no, it's not because you don't want to make sales. It's the kind of business venture you are in. So you have to understand the business you are in. So this money consciousness, sometimes when you are selling something to someone, don't think only about the profits. Think about keeping or retaining the customer. Sometimes you just have to break even. There are some fabrics I sold, I didn't get 1 cedi from it. But I didn't make losses too, because I sold it just at the price I bought it. So money consciousness is one red flag.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me like another one.
Another red flag I noticed is financial security. Okay. Some people, they are doing 9-to-5 jobs. Yeah. And you go like, okay, I want to be my own boss. You know, the idea of entrepreneurship, it's nice. So you want to work at your own time. You want to be your own boss. You want to make your own money. But sometimes you don't have the capital. You are deficient when it comes to financial security. Without you don't quit. I've seen young people who they quit their 9-to-5 jobs because they've gotten an idea that they want to. It's good when you want to start, but when you know you are deficient in capital, you don't just get entrepreneurship. It's not cheap. To start up a business, you don't just quit your 9-to-5 job to come and concentrate solely on the entrepreneurship. Work with your job. You don't compare yourself to people. So I think these two things, we take it for granted.
Okay, Andrew.
Yes, she said a lot. I just want to mention just two. The first thing is what I call adequate knowledge about the business and target market. There's something that we call zeal without knowledge or vain enthusiasm. The mere fact that I have an idea, we quickly just jump
Exactly.
into it, ignoring the little things that come in the way. You start something in the middle, you realize that some things are not just going right. Number one, maybe communication. Number two, maybe finding a place to be able to market your product. But all that you have in your head is that I'm excited, which is good, because you need the excitement, you need a zeal, you need enthusiasm for it. But it is negative, or it is toxic when you don't have adequate knowledge to back the zeal. There are a lot of people who are doing things out of zeal but without knowledge. So we have a lot of extremists, if I should say. People begin something, and then if they have to break necks just to arrive at their result, they'll do it because in the name of enthusiasm. And that is one of the things we should look at. It is a bittersweet kind of situation. It is good, but at the long run, it is one of the things that can also be a major inhibitant or prohibition to building a successful business. I remember when, let me say, the very first, I've sold a lot of things. But one of the things that I really remember was I partnered with somebody, and they were doing bead work, and then at the long run we added events planning to it. We're just so excited about the idea initially. All we wanted to do, look, let's just get some capital, produce, and then find. And it took us a lot of time to actually wake up from that consciousness and no. I think we are just acting on just zeal, because we're producing the things, but we are not tailoring it to the target people, because we didn't even have people we are targeted. Sometimes you may think that we have market. That is one of the errors that we fail to, because you feel that you are in the vicinity and they are ladies, and because they are women and they will like beads. Yes, it's one of the plans. But have you assessed what kind of dresses they wear? So if you have to educate them to patronize what you have before you start selling them. There's this story, I don't know if it's true or not, of a village. There were two shoe producing companies. Both of them wanted to target a particular village. One of them said that they realized that the people there were not wearing any slippers or sandals, so they are not going to venture into the place, and they left and they went to another place. The other person sat and said, well, why don't you rather educate them on the importance of wearing shoes? Why don't we show them the scars on their legs, and to tell them that if you wear a shoe, you go to the forest and back, you may avoid some of these scars. So they took about 2 years to train the people, and before they realized, they did not just produce the shoe to them, they rather started selling the shoes. They were carrying out the idea to other villages that the company would have never been able to reach. Be it a true story or not, I think there is a moral in it that we should be able to learn. So it's not just about the zeal, and it's not just about the recommendation, because everybody is saying that, doing fabric as lucrative means that you should jump into it. Yeah. You understand? You may jump into it and it may not work for you. So that is the first thing. The second thing is that you should be able to do a proper investigation. If it has to take you 1 year, there's a kind of business I want to do now, but I haven't fully understood the terrain. It's been about 4 years, if I should say. So I have not started it at all. Meanwhile, I have a laid out plan, but I've not ventured. It is not just enough knowing that that is what I want to do, but I really want to understand the system before I venture into it.
Wow. I like both ideas. I'm learning. So do you necessarily need a mentor to guide you in your setup before setting off? A mentor from the beginning?
Having a mentor is good. Someone like me, my mom is my mentor.
Okay.
So sometimes when things are not going as planned, or as suppose I'm like, oh no, I'm giving up. I say, hey, wait, yes, how? They share their experience. They use their own. You see, accounts have an adage say, "Akolade obiya yebida." But penny no being yebida. They've been in that situation before, so sometimes they use their experiences as a case study for you to understand, for you not to give up. So sometimes when you have a mentor, it's good. It motivates you, like keeps you going.
Okay,
Yeah.
Andrew.
It is extremely important. For a few that you haven't ventured before. Even look at our educational system. It's mentorship.
True.
You want to be a lawyer, you want to be a film director. You can't do it. You were not born. You were born with the knowledge, with the interest, but you don't still know how. There's somebody that should lead you. True. Mentorship may not necessarily have to be somebody that you may have to talk to one-on-one. Yeah. Books, videos, tapes. Now things are even easier. Go to YouTube. There are a lot of mentorship programs. So many, too many programs that you can actually rely on. But at the long run, you should have a mentor. Be it a virtual mentor or a physical human being or somebody, resource person you can relate to. You should have somebody you are talking to. Somebody knows it better than you. That is a fact.
Excellent. So if I have a friend a close friend, Joseph. He's into app. He has an app which sells books on Android. So he sells Ghanaian books. And one time he posted something about recruiting talent. He said it's one of the most difficult things he went through when setting up his business, because he kept employing people and they kept leaving, and he kept employing. So it took him a lot of time and resources recruiting them. So this question, Andrew, how do you recruit talent and pay them for your setup when you are barely making profit?
That is a very important question. I mean, super important and difficult question to answer. Difficult question to answer because it may largely depend on the kind of place you find yourself. Even that, everybody has an interest. Everybody has what he or she wants to do. But at the long run, one thing that I would advise is that you should get people who, number one, understand what you want to do and are willing to partner with you. They may not necessarily, yes, you have to pay them, but I think I was sharing with you the other time, if you don't get people who have the same mindset as you may even hire them, they may be doing their way, you may even pay them beyond your budget, but you may still not get the results you are looking for. I remember I started a company with one of my mentors. He's actually my father in the Lord. We went into translation services and then remedials, and it was a new idea, and then we started it. When we started, it was very difficult not because we didn't have people to do it. As for teaching, I mean, anybody or you can get people to teach. Yeah. But the kind of brand we wanted to build, we didn't have a lot of money to pay the people. So for a long time, actually, it was just about the 2 or 3 of us that were running the whole place for about a whole year. Before, from time to time, when we running interviews for people, we tailor the interview in such a way that we want to know if they'll be willing to go on long term with us or for short term. If it's short term, we know what role and responsibility we can give them. If people really believe in the idea or they are looking forward to doing something like that in the future, then we see them long term. It also depends on the kind of role that we give them. So it is a very difficult aspect that whoever wants to do entrepreneurship, I would advise, if it will take you 1 month to settle on people who believe in what you are doing and want to be a part of it for the future of it and not just for the profit, I think you should wait. Because if you just get people who are just willing, yes, sometimes you have to take the risk and then get those who know the skill, because they know the skill, they know how to do it. But since you are beginning, you may need more than people who just have the skill and want to be paid off. If you can get 4 people or just 1 person who believes in what you're doing, money may not be the very first thing on their minds, but eventually it will definitely pay off one day.
Yeah.
I agree with what Andrew is saying. When you are starting up a business, you are barely making profit. Let's take it, your capital is just for your expenses and stuff relating to the business, and you don't have money to hire or recruit a third person or a second person or an employee. Sometimes when you get the right people who understand the venture you are into and who are passionate about it, sometimes you can even offer them stock options. Be like, okay, this is the business idea. You are interested in it. I'm also interested. Let's make this work. When the profits come after we deduct the capital, the cost of production and expenses, your part or your share of the profit is like 30%, or your share of the profit is 40%. When someone is willing to go that lane with you, they will do it. Because they know when the business is successful, they are also successful. But in a situation whereby you just call anyone who is not willing or who doesn't have interest in it, but they are doing it because, okay, or madam for, and now, okay, let me just help this person. They'll get to a time, they'll act like they are doing you a favor. They'll leave.
Yeah, I've had such
they'll leave.
Such
they'll start
experiences
putting
before.
up some attitude. It'll be like you forced them into it in the first place.
Yeah,
so
true.
you have to get people who are willing, who are interested, who understand the venture you are in. With that, you don't need a lot of money. You're succeeding together. So
Yeah, so like with my setup, at a point I felt my friends around me, they're all striving to make it in life. So I handpicked some of them that, okay, let's come together, let's do this production and all that. And I felt when the thing blows, we all blow. But at the end of the day, it got to a point that I realized to them, they were doing me a favor. They didn't see the bigger picture that, this guy wants us to blow together because we are friends and we can work together. So one lesson I've learned as an entrepreneur is that don't think friends are the first point of call when you want talent. they'll mess you up. Most of them mess you up. So if you can go beyond friends and put in work, just sit down, learn the skills. You have to equip yourself with knowledge and everything. So when you're equipped with knowledge and the skills, you know how to move. You know how to bring people on board. When you don't have that, you become so vulnerable. You want to pick anybody to come on board. So that's my personal experience.
The little thing I want to add is that in doing that too, especially for a startup like this, you should be very honest and transparent with the people. I mean, it should not just be in the name of, Charlie, there is no money. So if anything, whatever that comes up, let them know, let them feel a part of what you are doing.
True.
So sometimes, even if it's losses, you are happy. All of you are happy because you've not made a profit, but you've made an impact. You've done something. So you should just be open and honest with them. Not in the name of, because I know people like that too. In the name of, we are now starting, they'll be bullying people. Even if it's just 100 cities you earn in the month. There is 100 cities we've gotten. So let's share it according to how we want it. I mean, everybody should be a part of it in one way or the other. And then I think really I want to stress it because I've also had that experience before. Recently, somebody introduced me to a very good business, and I realized that is good. So I looked at people who were in need and wanting to help them. I wanted to offer them the opportunity to the point that I even wanted to give them capital to join the business. Later on, I regretted. Because I realized that, yes, they were in need, but the way they wanted to meet their needs was not how I wanted them to meet that particular need. So, they may not necessarily have to be people you've known all the time. Yes, you can find one or two people you've known for long who can partner with you, but you should just be open. Look for those who understand what you want to do, share the same dream, and are willing to take all the risk with you to the end.
Is it really important to understudy business which started in developed countries when our country is far behind in terms of development and structures to support young setups?
That is also a very good question. I mean, in the sense that when you look at developed countries and the kind of models that they use sometimes, frankly, some of them will not be applicable to our country. So that is the disadvantage. Otherwise, you will just end up frustrating yourself because you study the model and then how they are going about it. It looks so simple in their country, but bring it to your own country. Look, even registering your own business sometimes over here, some countries do it over phone in seconds.
Yeah, true.
But over here now, I don't know if there's, some new things coming up since we have started digitization of almost everything. If some of this is so, it's good to study, but at the long run, you should have in mind where you are coming from and then what kind of terrain you find yourself. So the best is to improvise in this season. If you can't, then you have to rather trust God to help you get into that system to carry on with the idea. But if you still want to do it where you are, then it's not bad understanding, but you should make sure that you don't end up frustrating yourself comparing their model to yours. Tailor it to the environment in which you find yourself.
True.
So let me use the Uber as an example. Let's take it in a developed country. The Uber runs and goes to every corner of the city. But come to Accra, Uber doesn't go everywhere. It's not everywhere in Accra that you find Uber going, you understand? So when you go like, okay, I want to start a business like Uber, and he started off like this, and he's in this country. Look at your environment. Look at the systems here. Look at how things work over here. It's not the same like the developed country. So definitely, because if you're not careful, you get frustrated along the line. You're like, okay, I'm giving up.
True.
Yeah.
True. So when I was mastering my mind to enter into entrepreneurship, I was reading a lot about successful entrepreneurs, and one person who inspired me most was Steve Jobs. And I remember I used to watch his movies, documentaries, read his books, and one portion of his autobiography, he stated that he used to call this company like 1,000 times, and the company sent a rep to his garage and they signed a contract and all that. And recent times I was thinking about the same process too, and I felt like if you call a Ghanaian company 1,000 times, they'll arrest you. You don't even send somebody to come to your garage and check out your setup. So sometimes we beat ourselves into thinking that Steve Jobs did this, Bill Gates went to Harvard and quit school and blah 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 blah.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, we don't have successful dotted stories of Ghanaian business people. So we don't know the real challenges they faced in Ghana, but rather know the challenges people face in America and other places. And that's one challenge that most young entrepreneurs go through. So I think that you should face your reality. This is Ghana. This is our structure. So you can also understand somebody from afar and see how they went through the whole system. Okay, the next question, Andrew. Should one fake being successful as an entrepreneur till they make it?
generally in life, faking anything doesn't do anything. I mean, there are people that, that is why sometimes it's not just, the Bible says that it's not wise if you compare yourself by yourself. It doesn't mean that you can't look at other people and then learn. Look, but there are people who make it look like they are successful. Meanwhile, the cars they are using in taking the pictures are rented cars.
Loans.
Yes, and loans upon loans that they are not even getting the value for the loans they've taken for. If you want to use a loan for business, it's okay, but make sure that whatever that you want to use the money for is used for it, and you are sure with your investigation that you're going to get the results. So the mere fact that somebody said I've gone for a loan, people use the working loans to go and buy cars and change their housing and everything. The people, when they get the first profit in the year, quickly they begin to change things. It's good that you give a positive outlook of whatever venture that you're giving into, but the world does not end anything by faking anything, because at the long run it will expose you. Storms will hit you that will not. That is why we become surprised. But I thought this person was very successful. He has never actually been. Respect the process. Let's understand that failure should not be called for what it is. It is a mistake that should be improved upon. We call it failure and close our minds, but it's only one way that you shouldn't have done it. We should redefine the way we define certain words, because the way we see them is how it reflects in our life. So if you're doing it and it's not going well in a particular way, it doesn't mean that it has ended or you failed. It's only telling you that you could have done it in another way. Look for that way and then do it. Look at, how Google Map works. If you're going in a particular direction and you hit a wall, or you take a wrong route, what does he say? Rerouting. It doesn't mean that, your journey has ended, you end up in a ditch. That is the same thing. So the world has actually not benefited in any way from anybody being fake. People start things fake. Later on, when the truth is exposed, every recognition, every respect, every dignity, every integrity they attach to you just crumbles in a moment. You try your best to even convince them. You may lose your market in a very long time or forever.
You want to fake being successful.
Yeah.
Who are you trying to impress? Just giving pressure to young entrepreneurs. Why? See, no successful entrepreneur has had it 100% under control. There have been seasons upon seasons of failures. So it's good when you make a success story. It's good to celebrate. Yeah, you buy yourself nice things, but come on, don't let it get into your head. Because whilst you are celebrating, someone is watching your space. Someone is coming up with a more brilliant idea than yours. Someone is trying to enter your market space. So you celebrate for a while. Maninda, go back to the drawing board. Get focused. Do more amazing things. Get more success stories. But what you're trying to fake. What are you trying to impress?
So your closing remarks.
My closing remarks is entrepreneurship is hard. It's not as easy as some of the successful entrepreneurs we know make it seem, especially in Ghana here. Sometimes they will tell us about their success stories, but the failures, they don't highlight more on it. So it's hard. Before you make up your mind to get into entrepreneurship, understand the business you are entering, read your environment, make sure financially you can be able to cope when storms hit you. So and just be successful.
Andrew,
what I want to say is that everybody can be an entrepreneur, whether you were born with it or not. You can be involved directly or indirectly, because no matter what, money is one of the major things that we need. Everything you want to, the Bible says that money answers all things. If you want to become, live out, even if you had a dream that is who you are supposed to become, it has to take money, either directly or indirectly. When you are being sponsored for school, is somebody paying? But in the long run, money is still being paid. So get a business. If you don't have the idea, get people to do it, or just partner in whatever you're doing. Make sure that there is something that is serving as a source of income for you, whether directly or indirectly. But the main idea is that you are meeting a need, and not just meeting a need, but making profits. However, you should be able to start something directly or indirectly.
Thanks guys for coming. I've learned a lot today, Andrew, Nanette, and I pray that somebody picks up this whole lesson too and keep riding the whole entrepreneurship train. It's been 2 Madden's podcasts, a new week, a new episode. Keep enjoying our podcast. We bring you more exciting content too. Bye.
Try doing you, I'm just doing I do